From the station that made country music famous, 650 AM WSM, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Hey, it's Charlie Matos, and welcome to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. In this episode, we sit down with Mark Miller, longtime frontman of Sawyer Brown. Now, Sawyer Brown was set to play the Opry on Friday, January the 7th, but the day before, on that Thursday, Nashville was hit by 7 inches of snow with some ice and temperatures that remained below freezing for 36 hours. So, out of an abundance of caution, the Friday night Opry was canceled. It just would have been hard to get 4,000 people in and out safely, and we just decided it better off maybe not to do that show. Now, the Saturday Grand Ole Opry show would go on as scheduled, of course, but the Friday night show was postponed. But we still had Mark on the show and absolutely loved our visit, and I hope you enjoy it too. Our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast with Mark Miller.
Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And we welcome Sawyer Brown's Mark Miller to the show. It is so good to see. I know we'd hoped to have you in studio, but the weather that Nashville's experienced in the last 24, 48 hours prevented that from happening. But thanks for coming on anyway, man.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we haven't had one of these for years. And that, it said 2 to 3 inches. Well, there's about 6 to 7 inches at my house.
So how did you spend the snow day yesterday?
Well, we live about 2 blocks from my daughter and my 2 grandsons. So, we took them out in the snow. Jack's only 3, so this would have been his first experience. And, he was out for about 10 minutes and he goes, "Okay, I'm cold." so we hung out, and, there just wasn't a lot of movement in the town. And if you did get out in it, you weren't going anywhere fast.
Footnote: your wife and Christopher Knight of the Brady Bunch are brother and sister. Is that right?
That is correct.
I never knew that about you. Knowing you were coming by today, I was doing a little homework, and I saw that, and Charlie and I both went, "You're kidding me."
I had no idea. Yeah.
So a real quick story, okay? So she didn't tell me, and we're dating. And, I was on the road really heavy. She's from Los Angeles, and we had met doing Dick Clark's American Bandstand. She was the makeup artist. And so we had talked over the phone for about a month. And then when I came back to LA, she wanted me to meet her mom. So we go over to her house, and she goes into her mom's kitchen to talk with her mom. And I'm just sitting in the living room, and I'm looking at all these pictures of her with Peter Brady. And it's just a little weird, And so finally, when she comes back out, I said, "Are you like a Brady Bunch groupie or something like that?" And she goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "What, every picture you're in with Peter Brady?" And she said, "He's my brother, and these are family pictures." So I'm thinking, wow, okay.
Now, I will admit, back in the day, I had a huge crush on Marcia, so I would have gone for some Marcia pictures,
Right. Yeah.
Where did you find that thing you do, Mark, that is so wonderful and yet so unique? Your on-stage presentation, not only the band, but particularly you as the front man for the band Sawyer Brown.
You mean... Well, some people call it dancing and some people call it spastic movement. My brother refers to it as spastic movement. And I don't know. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, and we, our praise and worship was a little different than other people's praise and worship. So I think it kind of floated over into my live stage. And, I really didn't have any plans of doing this growing up for a living. And I played basketball. I was an athlete. And then when, it was kind of apparent that this was what I was going to do, I just wanted to be the best at it. And, I would study Mick Jagger and Elvis and Little Richard and the great performers, and also just not be afraid to get out there and just be goofy. I found out real quick that our fans are they just want to come and have a good time. They don't want, that's what they're there for. And, so I just don't take myself serious and get out there and just, I kind of just go with the flow of the fans.
You've also worked a little spoken word drama into the stage presentation, and sometimes references other personalities in country music. You have the Trace Adkins thing that you've been doing lately. You want to do that for the audience this morning? Give them a little, maybe not the whole bit, but just a tease.
Well, now I have to say they pump up the bass when I do this bit. My sound guy pumps up the bass, and and I'll go, well, sometimes I just sit around the house and talk like Trace Adkins. And they get the subwoofers going, so it all works.
Oh, that's funny.
Has it been 40 years since Star Search, in that breakthrough moment, talking about practicing and trying?
It will be in. We're actually gearing up. We're starting now. It's called the Countdown to 40. 2024 will be the actual. We started Star Search in 83, so 2023 would officially be.
Okay.
But really, by the time it aired and we won, it was into 84, because we were out there for like 6 months. We kept winning every week, and so we were out there for like 6 months, and it ended in 84. So that's kind of what we're calling our 40-year. We're going to do a book, and there's going to be a documentary, a new album, and so we're kind of gearing up for the 40.
How hands-on was Ed McMahon on Star Search?
Well, we weren't real privy to his preparation, but now he was very, his door to his dressing room was always open. He was out in the hallway. He was, he's very engaging. And even after the show, we stayed in touch. He would send us Christmas presents every year. He was an incredible man,
And I've also heard through the years that it was tough getting accepted on Music Row for Sawyer Brown, even after Star Search. Is that right? I mean, they didn't know what to do with it.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
I mean, yeah. And I think at the time we were a little too rock for country, but they tolerated us because of the TV show and the popularity. So it, of course, as time goes on, I think, early on, if you listen to Step That Step, Shakin', Betty's Being Bad, and you think, oh my gosh, this was played on country radio in 1984, 85. We were pushing the limits, and we knew that at the time. And, so there, after that, your 15 minutes of popularity, we really had to dig in. And I think I would think some of it we compromised, with like the Dirt Road. The Walk was a big record for us.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd really written anything that I had experienced. Step That Step and that Betty's Being Bad, and of course Marshall Chapman wrote Betty's Being Bad, but Shakin' and those up-tempo songs were just kind of fun, a hybrid of what I listened to as a kid. I mean, I love, it's now called classic rock, but I just loved rock and roll. And my mom listened to country, nothing but country. And when we were in the car, that's all we were allowed to listen to. So I got both. And I think you can hear that, in the music.
And who is Mac McAnally, songwriter, Hall of Famer in the life of Sawyer Brown in those early years? Because we're going to close with a thing called Some Girls Do. Yeah.
Well, Mac, we met Mac when we went to Muscle Shoals. We felt like it changed everything for us, because we were getting some of that tension in Nashville, just from, the music industry. And also I don't think they liked, it was the first time, I tell my kids we were the original American Idols. It was the first time that a TV act had, knocked down the wall and got into radio. So when we went to Muscle Shoals, that's when I met Mac, and it's, the vibe is just so different down there. I think we just felt like, I remember back, Mac and I produced a lot of the records together. Mac just said, hey, you just figure out what you want to say and we'll make a record about it. And that's what we did. It was as simple as that. Mm-hmm. And if you look at that, as you're 25, 30, 35, you have different things to say. So that, so I could even go back and look at the albums and even listen to the sound, because the sound changes too. I think there was if you have this long of a career, there has to be some reinventing at times. So there were, I think, 3 or 4 times that you could really see where we, said, okay, we're going to do this now, because we're not 22 anymore, like Star Search, we're 35, we're 40. So Mac was really important in that transition.
Well, thanks for being regulars of late at the Grand Ole Opry. Always great to see you on that stage. You get to bring you on and see you do that thing you do. And by the way, you mentioned your grandchildren live close by, a couple blocks away. What do they call you? What's your grandparent nickname?
I'm called Biggs.
Are you? No kidding?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did they just come with that, or is there a derivative?
My daughter came up with that, and they call me Biggs. So
well, Biggs, thanks for coming to see us on Coffee Country and Cody.
All right, buddy. It's always good to see you, and it's always great to play the Opry. And I'm so I'm kind of bummed about tonight. So, but yeah, man. Thank you.
Well, be well. I'm Popo, by the way, just in case it comes up in the conversation. Biggs and Popo.
You know what I like about Biggs, though? It's fun, but Biggs can lay down the law if needed be. That's what I like about Biggs.
That's right.
Biggs can be the heavy.
That's right. See you, Mark.
Hey, some girls don't like boys like me, but some girls do. What a line. What a song. Sawyer Brown. Mark Miller. Again, thank you.
She turned up her nose as she walked by my Cadillac. From the corner of my eye, I saw you and you laughed. You were sitting on the swing on your front porch, painting your nails like...
Thanks for listening to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Our program director at WSM Radio is J. Patrick Tittle. Our digital producer is Haley Hall. Marketing and promotions director is Amanda Cannon. And I'm Charlie Matos. If you like what you've heard, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review on iTunes. It really does help new people find the show.